I've seen some Americans who obviously struggle to hold information in their brains and compute a thought say that the shooting in Bondi is evidence that gun control does not work. Just a reminder to all the Americans, as an Australian, as someone that lives in Bondi, first of all, our tragedy is not yours to politicise, particularly when your politicisation makes no fucking sense and shows how uneducated you are about Australian gun history and also about, I don't know, how human beings work, how the world simply works. You pro-gun weirdos. That was our first mass shooting since 1996. Having one mass shooting in 30 years does not prove that gun control doesn't work. Also, those guns were legally obtained. So, as a result of having those legally obtained guns being involved in our only mass shooting in 30 years, our Prime Minister is now putting forward legislation to make our gun legislation even tougher. We are responding to the tragedy that we can admit was caused by guns. So you know what's happening? We're doubling down on gun laws. The day after that was announced. The day after. You not caring about your mass shootings is not a good enough reason to try to, look at Australia. Well, I thought they had gun control in Australia. Yeah, we do. That's why we don't have mass shootings. And a lot of Americans agree with us. You are odd to not care about the fact that you had more mass shootings in a 12-hour period than Australia has had in 30 years. It's what a bizarre, uneducated, unintelligent, disgusting, deplorable take. It proves how little you care about people's lives because you haven't even thought about this. It proves how little you care about the children's lives in the US that are scared to go to school. Having one shooting in Australia, now all of Australia is worried, we're concerned. This is going to be a historic moment. When you say terms like Port Arthur in Australia, which by the way, because I'm sure you don't know, is the reason why we even have gun control. When you say Port Arthur, people say how hideous and how amazing that we have gun control. When you hear the word Lint Cafe, which is another major event in Australia that involved guns, it wasn't a mass shooting event, people know what we're talking about. This is going to be a major event in our history. America, in comparison, have events like this, multiple events like this every single day because of your lack of gun control. And to sit there from America with your stupid hats on, sitting there going, thinking you had a gotcha, to have a gotcha in terms of the lives of 15 people, and we are changing the gun laws to make them even tougher. It doesn't make sense what you're saying. It's incredibly insensitive. It is incredibly revolting, and it shows what your true values are. It's having little gotchas on the internet when you actually are completely wrong in every single way. In every single way. Well, I thought they had gun control. Yeah, that's why we've had one mass shooting in 30 years. That's why you're even hearing about it. We don't hear about your mass shootings because you have such loose gun, you have no gun control. And I know that a lot of Americans don't agree with your gun control, or lack thereof. This isn't to all Americans, this is those who right now are saying, sick freaks, you sick little freaks. So we will enjoy stricter gun control, and hopefully that will prevent a tragedy like this happening, an anti-Semitic attack, or any attack happening again. And you can enjoy having more guns, and I guess being okay with children dying. I don't know.